Hello everybody, welcome to my new video series, which is about the game Transport Fever 2. I think you might have guessed that. What I'm going to do is not a campaign, but I'm going to play a free game. And to start with, I've chosen map size very large in a 1-to-1 map forward, high number of towns, medium amount of industries, and I will have a temperate climate. Now, as you saw, I changed to extended, and that's one of the mods I have installed and I'm planning to use. So what I can do is adjust the water quality, but I got map seeds which I already like. Oh, I never tried this actually. So I will install that map seed. And with it I got a nice, how to call it, the industries and towns are nicely located all over the map, although there is some blank area here and another part over here with this island, but never mind. So water quality, straightness, forks, lakes, lake size, forest will actually increase to the max because I like forested areas. So timberline is to the max, and I just added the seed. This is what the map is going to look like. Next step is the start year is set at 1850, which is the earliest. However, like I said, I got mod installed, so we have some changes. Then difficulty will be medium, which means I won't always be able to make a lot of money, and making money is one of the goals of this game, other as looking nicely, and every once in a while just relax and continue following a vehicle. But medium difficulty is nice enough to work with. We got up to 6 cargo types for town needs. I can actually choose between 2, 4 and 6, so 6 in the end will make it a little bit harder but also more fun to do. Industry closure frequency, often, because they were close and at some point they may reappear again at other spots. Density target medium, so even if an industry closes, another industry will appear at some point. Then we got settings, and those are the mods I have chosen. First of all, of course, early supporter content and deluxe content, which are made by the developer. The deluxe is offering some new vehicles. The early supporter gives another part of skins, and for both for trains, planes and automobiles, or actually buses and trucks. But you get this thing. Then I've got achievements mods, which is basically doing what it says. It enables the option to get achievements while using a mod, and mods can be used for cheat, hence the name. Better RCI colors. RCI stands for what is it? Resident commercial and industry, and it's basically increasing the colors of the cities, the areas, making it better to see. The enhanced generator we already seen. Dutch first and last names. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're Dutch and you have to be proud of it, or at least being a little bit proud of your heritage, hence the names. I like it. If I was Portuguese, I would have chosen a mod giving me Portuguese names. Standard is English, by the way. Frisian towns and street names. Well, I'm part Frisian, I won't deny it, and most of those names are a bit different from Dutch, and I like them, so that's why. Grain in boxcars, not gondolas. One of the things changed between Transport Fever 2 compared to Transport Fever was that all of a sudden train was moved in gondolas instead of boxcars. And as a result, every player who was transporting grain to food industry and then picking up the food, sending it to a town, was confronted with the problem that you had either to use one boxcar versus two gondolas, or had to run two trains. Both of the things was actually increasing the cost. It could be more realistic, but yeah, I know grain used to be transported in bags and bags were put in boxcars and not gondolas, so it's one of the reasons I chose that mod. A little bit more historical accurate, although over time it becomes historical not accurate. We got early start, and that makes it possible to start in 1800. I will move the availability of early rail vehicles up to 1835, giving me 35 years to start with only horses and carriages. Then, rail industries. One of the things that Transport Fever and Transport Fever 2 did was using wood for things that didn't make sense. The picture shows it. Wood gave tools instead of iron for tools. Wood and iron steel gave machines, which while wood and while steel and plastic would be more logical. And plastic and steel gave goods, well, not all goods, but a large part of goods were actually made of wood and later of plastic and wood and plastic. So that this mod changes that. That also means that one of my, and not only mine, but one of the ways players could make money, easy money, is actually removed of the game, because with wooden tools you could actually ship logs to a sawmill, pick up the planks, move it over to a tool industry, create tools, transport the tools to a city, and done. That's not possible anymore. Right now you can only use only use wood to produce goods. And with up to 6 cargo types for a city, I will eventually produce lots of goods. Finally, street slim bus and truck zones. It's creating some sort of bus stop and truck stop on the road, making it a little bit easier to unload stuff. For both buses and trucks, and as a result with it also removes a little bit of the congestion you can get if your city is increasing in size and more people are using public transport. So those are the mods I'm using. The other ones are more or less becoming obsolete, although some of them still have. That's one. That's an old one. Although some of the mods I have still could make use as they add more items to the map, but I think it's good enough for this. Eventually, advanced settings are doing a little bit of what I already did. Temperate climates, European vehicles. I will have the Frisian cities and railroad towns in the Frisian language. The environment is temperate, difficulty medium, and anything else loan, interest, investments, everything is kept at 100. Yes, I could adjust things to make it easier, I could adjust things to make it harder, but I like it the way it is. And here we have it again, extended, next generating map. Let's start. Yes, loading and generating the map will take some time. Can't help it. This game is pretty heavy on the CPU and GPU, but it's a real fun game to play. If you like playing with trains and trucks and things like that. And here we are on the map. It's a big map. I'll try to zoom out as much as possible. Actually, I can't even. So we see different kind of industries while we get the message about new vehicles being available. We got cities, we got farms, we got industries, roads, waterways, forests, fields, meadows, everything you like, even animals, and lots of white rocks. I don't know what they're doing there, but we got them anyway. So, first thing I will do is checking for certain products, as I want to do a full transportation loop. Transport Fever 2, unlike the predecessors Tray Fever and Transport Fever, don't require a full loop. I can transport goods from A to B as long as those goods are required, like oil to a refinery, and this is actually already being paid off. Nothing happens after it gets to the refinery, but still the oil delivered here will be paid, and that goes for everything. So I can like move coal and iron to the steel factory, do nothing else, but it's still getting paid. However, as said, I'd like to do a full run. So let's see if we can create a food factory and a farm. Here's one route. doing a food run. So let's keep that in mind. This one doesn't require food. This doesn't require food, and the one that does is too far away for now. Here we got another start, and looking at things, it's got another option. Not only is the transport from the farm through town, and over time I can actually divert it around town, but we have an oil refinery, a fuel refinery, and 2 oil wells nearby, which is another good reason to transport things around town. So when this city is growing, it will require fuel at some time, and I got the industry nearby. So this is certainly, for me, in my opinion, a nice starting point. So we got 2 spots to transport food, and 1 spot that over time will require fuel. Let's see about the last one. And yes, it does want it, but distance wise, not the best spot. So that's one industry we can. Well, we know about this one. Let's check for fuel. I hope nobody gets actually motion sick now. A very small city, it requires fuel, but yeah. Refinery is quite a distance away. The oil wells are even further away. So, no. We know about Jelsum. Friendshire. It's got a refinery, but it doesn't need it. It does have an oil well, but there's no fuel refinery, no oil refinery nearby. So that's a no. Drilts, a fuel refinery, an oil refinery. We got oil wells, but well, this one doesn't need it. This one does. Yet distance wise, I'm not sure yet. I could give it a try at some point after I made some money with some other routes. Move the oil here, and then that way probably connect this one on this road, so I got a feeding system. But distance is pretty hard, especially in 1800s. Anything else? Well, there's of course construction materials, but this city doesn't need it. Construction materials require only one thing, only stone. And from the stones are dropped off and delivered in the city, and that's it. So it's an easy route, but as said, so far nothing needs it, or the distance is pretty far. And the last one is not possible. So let's see, anything else? No, anything else is needing multiple stuff. At least not for a full loop. So I will head this way. Again, close this screen and start looking. First thing I'm looking for is locations. What we got here: green, residential, commercial, industrial. I don't have any train transportation yet. I can build tracks, stations, signals and waypoints, but I can even set up the buildings with the depot, but I won't be able to use it, not as long as I'm set to the year I actually want it. So it's back to roads. What do we have here? Streets. And that's split between urban and country, or all. We have buildings, passenger, cargo and depots, and that's both a roads and a tram depot. We got waypoints, and I will have to use those. And we've got upgrade tools. One is to upgrade everything with a tram track, and one is to upgrade roads for a player tool. And with the player ownership I can actually lock a road for being upgraded or downgraded by the AI. For now, however, we start with buildings, cargo, one truck station, and let's move it in place. I will have to drop off two different, for now that is, two different transport lines. Why two? Well, give me a moment and I'll show you. And I also need one near the farm. And up here I will actually create a larger one, but only one. At least for now. So that's done. And the final stop is an unload stop for trucks. And the moment I select it, we already noticed that symbols appear above certain buildings. And the reason for that is simple. Those symbols tell me which industries, which buildings need what. And the one with the cogwheel are industrial buildings, which need machines, and the one with the bread is commercial, which indeed needs food or bread. So I'll try to cover as many as possible. And also keep in mind the truck route. I can't put it here because of the bus station I may actually want to drop in later. So for now, up here, and that's done. We had another possible route in the north. So let's do the same thing over here as well. First of all, truck station. And I need two platforms, slightly smaller. Actually, I'll do it differently. have the same thing over here, and this time things will be a little bit more complicated because I will have to drop in two. Coming in. You have to think ahead. One of the things you need to think about is, are my lines going to cross itself? Yes or no? And in this case, everybody's driving at the right side of the road. And for you English people who think, no you aren't, I mean right-handed side. Because for you folks, left is the right side. So that means trucks are coming in from here on the right side, handed side of the road. You travel, you turn to the left, stop here to drop off, continue, and go here. And what you don't do is actually cross the road, cross your own transport. If I put it on the other way, the truck will be moving, turning, head here, go back, and at this point cross, continue, and don't. So I don't want that. I want to keep it going as smooth as possible. Right now that means like this. Later I may actually drop in. I may actually give it a try what's doing. Truck station. No, it won't work. And there's the second one. Now with this done, time to create. No, I'm not done. I forgot something. Something very important actually. I need a road depot. And because we get emissions, I will drop it off at a spot where it won't be causing too much problems. And that's one. I think I really got at the opposite side of the maps with this one. Oh well, eventually I will cover, or try to cover everything. I also keep some distance because roads may upgrade, and upgraded roads will actually expand out and sometimes even demolish buildings. Now that's done. Next step, since I'm here I can do it here as well, creating a new line. It will be a road line. I got the option between road, tram, train, boats and aircraft. So first stop. Later I may actually check if it's farm or farm 2. It's farm. And this is probably exactly. Naming my truck stations after the industry they're close to is one of the things I have been teaching myself, for the simple reason it's important to figure out what you're doing. And here we go. This is exactly what I was trying to avoid. Unfortunately I can't, unless I actually guide everything through that street. But by doing that, I may delay my line a bit. So I won't do that. This is 1. So I call this to the city. And RD stands for road. That's number 1. Next is a new line. It can start off at the same spot, but it only moves to the processing plant and it will actually move to the other terminal. And the reason for that is it's going to be a feeder. And the reason it's going to be a feeder is simple. Food processing plants need 2 items to produce 1. So 2 grain for 1 food. That's the basic rule. So I need to transport as much as possible, and sending in food trucks and only having them transporting half is costing me money. Of course, for feeders they will be empty half of the trip as well, but I won't need that many for a full trip compared to transporting it here. So that's 1. And why did I use 1 platform here instead of 2, 1 terminal? Well, very simple, because everything has to be picked up here anyway. So there's no need to do 2, otherwise one would incredibly getting out of shape, filled up, while the other one would simply be empty. So that's 1. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. New line. And this time everything is working as intended, with the exception of the names. That's not a problem, because I can change those. The last line for now I'm not done yet though, there's more to do. Starting with stop time. 20 seconds is enough. And what is it going to load and unload? Well, we load up grain, make sure that we don't load anything else. We unload everything and we load up food, and food will be dropped off here. There's nothing I can do. For the food processing plant, I will do one change, but I will do that in a bit. Same thing is done up here. Load up grain. Don't load up grain. And yes, those things are the boring part. Sorry for that, but they need to be done. Stick to 20 seconds. I think that's good enough. For now anyway. So that's part one, and the last part I'm going to do is configure. I will add one cargo platform, only one, for the very simple reason that at platform 1 I will order the feeder to drop off its stuff. And since it's only a drop-off point, yes, I could have done it with a truck unloading station I built inside the city. This is easier. Right now, as you can see, we'll make a perfect looping. Over time, with other spots, I will actually start working with sometimes configuration of this game is awful. I will working with adding streets, a second or a third street access and waypoints to make the flow easier. With everything done, there's one more thing to do, and that's setting up the routes. And to do that I have to open another screen to start with. It's all buses, so I don't have to switch. Open up this one, Vehicle Manager, and select a road depot. And here I've got the choice between two things, passenger and cargo. Currently not that much, so I will buy a lot. And the next thing I will start to do is rename everything. Fortunately, I got a trick for that. Grain food, so that's basically 20 of them. And it could be too much actually, but I also think I made a mistake, but we'll see. I'm making a lot of mistakes. I don't know. No, I didn't make a mistake. That's number one. Now, number two. And that's part one. I will do the same thing with the other one. Right, done. Now I'm going to select both depots and I will start the game in a bit. First thing I'm going to do, select one, transport, and there it is. And with this done, as we can see, that's why I selected the other screen, is that every 24 minutes this horse carriage will stop at one of the stops on its route, one of the same stops. So every 24 minutes it will stop at the farm. That means there's a rate of 2 in an hour. The other one every 15 minutes, 19 and 18. And the reason I picked this screen is with it I'm actually able to set up a trade route which is pretty much showing how many vehicles I will need based upon the frequency and the rating that eventually they match. And while it isn't that important here, the most important thing is that I always have a feeder coming in slightly more often as the other one, since I need 2 grain for 1 food. So with the feeders coming in earlier and a little bit faster, I will make sure that there's always enough food being produced to be picked up by the other truck. And I won't do the first of each. I will select the second of each, so at some point we can actually ride along a little bit. For now I'll just keep it like this. Let's unpause and see what happens. And there they are. To get a somewhat nice interval, I select this spot, and as soon as the second one has passed, which is now, I will pause the game and do the whole process over again. Feeder. And looking at things, this one may be needing the same amount, but it looks like the one on 2 up here may be somewhat correct, not entirely, somewhat. But I'm able to see that better in the long run with higher numbers, and I can always change names again. I only wonder why I picked the wrong transport. And the reason why I'm doing it like this, instead of ordering them all at once to move, is if I do them all at once, they will also end up at the station at once, and over there they will pick up grain, transport it, but in the end you get a large gap between your vehicles. And basically going to work with the peak. I don't want that. I want to have things being spread out. I don't want my transports to wait too long at a certain station to pick up anything, while the ones in front of it are still picking it up. By spreading things out, I make sure that I got a more frequent delivery of goods, and in the end that's being a little bit more profitable. Yeah, it looks like I need 10 and 15 on this one and 20 on both here. Another thing I'm still doing, although it's said it isn't needed, is the frequency about 2 minutes. Some say you don't need it because of the fact that no matter what stop you have, you will be paid the moment you deliver goods. Others say it's still a good thing to keep that in mind because of being able to actually get things as close to possible. Personally, I still prefer to keep my frequency of a line and its feeder as close as possible, with the feeder always being slightly faster. And I think I forgot my transport. Not really a big problem. So looking at things, I may actually have to switch a few transports from one route to another to get a nice balance. And in the small screen we see what's going to happen. The vehicle stops, it loads up to 4 grain. We have a lot of grain waiting already. And after a while it should continue its journey. I've set stop at 20 seconds. Here we go. My feeder is already having 3 vehicles filled up, while the food transport is currently having its second, and as you can see we also get the congestion already, but over time that'll disappear. Both lines are close to the 12 minutes. Also, so I will probably move 5 of the food transports over to the feeder. 5 or 4. I got the feeling I made a mistake. Well, I've been saying that before, but the numbers aren't correct. That's 10 vehicles. That's 10 vehicles. Ah, we got a 777. And I'm making things a lot more complicated as I have to, because it will move in the right spot anyway. And done. So 10 vehicles for my feeder doing 110 seconds, 10 vehicles for my foot are doing 114. So I think after 12 I will need to add one to the feeder and up with the other one. It's getting closer to 15 before I have to add another transport. And here we are. Seconds difference. Both 12. So yeah, it's getting close. I think I keep having 4 seconds. But considering I'm already close to 1 minute, I might as well do this. Problem solved. And we'll move to the other city. find myself a nice spot. So I've got this set up, 2 production lines, although I'm not making money yet. That'll come over time. The next thing I want to do is setting up some transportation routes. But I also need to keep in mind that at some point I'm going to use trains. The question is, where do I have the trains coming in and where do I want them to leave? I need to base that upon my industries, other cities, so this one is most likely going to be at the south side. And what do we have at the south side? Commercial area and partially industrial. Well, for the other one, I've got a single route and I'm actually able to stop at the south side too for the commercial and industrial areas. Not to mention, how many tracks do I have to add in? And this one is going mainly one direction from St. Anne up to Hans. So I need to make a split up here, which means I need only 1 passenger track. But with fuel and oil and food, and wood and plastic and goods, I will need more. The advantage dropping off oil for fuel is picking up the fuel. It's all the same tank, so that's one platform. Food, dropping off the grain for food, that's a second platform. Plastic and goods are produced in the same wagon. Both are gone put in a boxcar. So that's the third platform. Wood, however, can be dropped off at the same platform, but it can't be picked up. So I can still do it with 3 platforms for unloading and loading items. Then we got a platform for machinery, which is also done in boxcars, but that's already number 4, and I want eventually 6 goods being dropped off. So some items may actually be able to be done double, but I will need at least 4 industrial platforms. Still, that's something that needs to be done in 1830 and beyond, so I won't do that yet. Instead, I will focus, as said, I want to know where my train has to stop. That's going to be here, and because of that I will create one urban street which will remain player ownership. Is being built. Not there. I might as well do it like this. This time I will have 2 platforms. And that's where my bus station is going to be. And the next stop will be after the crossing. Here as well, after the crossing. After the crossing. And this is one bus route. But anything else will be done next time. For now, we've got a little bit done. We've got 2 trade routes coming up and running, and although it's not really profitable yet, or actually they are profitable already, there's still a lot of money to deal with, as I got this 5 million loan I need to pay off. And as long as that isn't done, this isn't useful. I've been spending 155,000. Well, I got 144 coming in. So, yes, I'm still lacking some money, but it's in the right direction. And as you can see, income, expenditure, first year is terrible, the second year is actually getting better. My balance is slowly improving. No tax, towns, population, shopping facilities, etc. It's all moving up and down. I won't bother with that yet, because we're in 1801. And headquarters, at some point I will build it. Not yet. For now, I will end the game, and because of that, I say thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time, and have a good day.